See that green poster up above? That was one of the dividing lines in R.E.M. fandom. As in this report, they talk about lots of new fans as opposed to old fans. A few more years later, there'd be way more new fans. And the new fans just kept continuing. And I always felt more kinship with the old fans. Old. Analog. Push buttons. Drive. Tapes. Cassettes. Streaming after you drank too much beer.
Big giant letters that nobody else seems to be using. So in an attempt to give our show some kind of theme, we're going to try and use them ourselves. Let's give this a shot here. H. H is for hot, which pretty much sums up the weather here right now and is also a fairly apt description of R.E.M. these days. They've been out on the road promoting their latest album, Green, with a major venue tour that confirms them as the major stars they now are. They've been packing in near-capacity crowds from coast to coast, and according to Performance Magazine, nearly one-third of their shows have been completely sold out, which isn't bad. We caught up with the boys at a show in Washington, D.C. this past Tuesday and found out that while they may be bigger than ever before right now, they still haven't shelved their political beliefs.
Be all that you can be in the army.
I look at my job as entertainer. You know, I'm a singer, but foremost I'm an entertainer because there are other people in the very back who are watching the spectacle take place. It's amazing how a group of 12,000 people can have a personality. It's hard for me to just stand still and sing the kind of music that we're doing. So I move around a lot.
R.E.M. in their 9-year rise from playing bars and frats to playing arenas and convention centers have managed to adapt their show to reflect small club spontaneity in places that could hold a dozen small clubs. They've achieved this by adding musicians like former DB Peter Holsapple, by using simple, highly visible stage props, and with films and rear projections.
It was my idea to put the words on the screen because I didn't want to have to say them. So that's simple as that.
Michael Stipe is like, his lyrics are just like go in circles. They have no real meaning to them, and there's like no direction in their songs.
The lyrics have meaning. They tell a story. They write a poem for you.
It's really scary.
R.E.M.'s newer fans, drawn by top 10 hits like Stand and The One I Love, may not yet know much about the band, and even less about the causes the group care about. But when you see an R.E.M. show, you'll find that they've given lobby space to groups like the Nature Conservancy. Michael Stipe knows that because he sells a few more records, he can reach a few more people with his beliefs.
Through being a public person, that in a less didactic, but maybe a more confrontational way, by doing things like this and that I can make people aware of things that I'm concerned about as a person.
And one of the things Michael and R.E.M. are most concerned about is the environment. The rising threat to nature is one of the major lyrical themes on Green, and Michael is eager to discourse on the topic on stage and off.
Clearly the environment has become a really big issue. And we saw Green, the album, as a way to tie in our concerns with that and, you know, make sense.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Earth Day, I think Earth Day started in the 60s. This is a emblem, a symbol, if you will. And they kind of got it halfway right. They had patches made up and that, which has come back around 20 years later. You know, I don't use styrofoam. I recycle my glass at home. We recycle our glass and our paper on the road. There's little things that everybody can do to kind of help make things better. And when people bond together and make large groups, then things do change.
Okay, next up on our alphabetical hit parade is...
Direction, wonder why you haven't stand in the place where you were. Think about the place where you live, wonder why you haven't. Your feet are going to be on the ground. Your head is there to move you around. This is your dreams, choose what you want. Listen to reason is calling. Stand in the place where you live. Think about direction, wonder why you haven't stand in the place where you were. Think about the place where you live, wonder why you haven't. Your feet are going to be on the ground. Your head
Fly American Airlines with convenient flights to over 240 destinations worldwide. American Airlines, something special in the air.
Thank you for watching Cleveland Live Music. Don't worry, this cop that's approaching is not going to interrupt great uploads. He hopefully supports the channel as much as you folks who hit the subscribe button do. There's Patreon and GoFundMe information that I doubt he's going to do. You can. But subscribe. Keep watching. That's all that counts.